Hey everybody, this is Meeperachi, and you're watching Meepers Minecraft on Xbox One. And this tutorial and show will be a walkthrough of 3 different sugarcane farms that I built over the course of my year and a half playing Minecraft. For all of you that know, sugarcane is fairly important. We use sugarcane we use to make sugar, and we use sugarcane as natural boundaries around lakes. If you've seen my modern house for parties, you'll see that the whole back lake is surrounded by sugarcane. It kind of looks like bamboo. In order to have sugarcane, it has to be right on top of water. So the sugarcane needs to be planted right next to water, as you see that I've done here. I also find it very useful to put jack-o'-lanterns at the bottom of the water, and by using the jack-o'-lanterns, it provides a level of light that basically makes sure that the sugarcane can grow day or night. Now, the thing to remember about sugarcane, I'm just going to show you real quick using this one at the edge here, is when I punch it with my hand, it's actually in 3 different segments. That's the top. I can pick it up. There we go. Here's the middle segment, and ultimately the bottom segment. And if I pick up, let me just show you over here. Let me get the flint out of the way. Here's the sugar cane. I guess I already had some on me. And let me just eat real quick some carrots because I'm hungry. There we go. So if you pick up the sugar cane, and if you take out all 3, the important thing to realize is it will not grow. It needs to be replanted just by sticking a single sugar cane right back in the ground. So the goal of high quality, high yield sugarcane farming is not to remove all 3, but just to remove the top 2 so you don't have to go and replant it. And most people will just run through and they'll just hit it with their hand like so. That's probably one of the more common ways to farm sugarcane. I'm going to quickly go to my main farm, the Meeperet farm, and I'll take a look at the sugarcane setup that she has. And I want you to see it because her sugarcane farm ultimately needs to be punched by hand or replanted almost every time. Here we are at the main farm. Here are some carrots. I can just grab some carrots for some food. But back here is where we keep the sugarcane. And there's really nothing special about this. If we look under this wood slab, I know I don't have an axe on me, but if we look under the wood slab, what we'll basically just see is some water with some jack-o'-lanterns and some glowstone in there to make sure that it's lit even at night. But we can cover it up, and we keep it covered up. Now, a sugarcane farm like this isn't really that good, because basically you just walk through and you punch, and as you walk through and you punch, as long as you don't hit the bottom layer, you really don't have to do too much. You just walk through, you punch. You always hit the middle layer. It causes the top 2 layers to come down, and it leaves the bottom layer of sugarcane. Up, you see that? I just made a mistake, so I need to replant those. And by having these wooden slabs over the water, the sugarcane doesn't fall into the water. So this is probably the most simple way to farm sugarcane, but it's also one of the least effective ways. You'll be wasting a lot of time if you're farming sugarcane like that. So over the course of a few years, I've developed a couple other methods playing around. Those who know me know that I very, very rarely look at YouTube for ideas. Part of the fun of this game for me is learning it for myself. But I'll tell you everything. Hey, what's this? Oh, it's a sheep. Let's kill it. Get some brown wool. And it just totally disappeared. Okay, that's either a new animal in the Xbox One or that was a glitch. I'm not really sure what happened. Anyway, so you don't want to remove the bottom layer of sugarcane, and that's something that's kind of important. So there are a few different methods that I have used in farming sugarcane that I think are fairly well sound. Let me show you the first one. It's not my favorite. This was actually the first experiment I had in building a sugarcane farm with any actual chutzpah. The sugarcane farm, without a doubt, it won't have to be replanted, and that's what's important. We don't want to have to replant. The sheep went in here. That's pretty weird. We don't want to have to replant the sugarcane every time we... Yeah, you're dead. And you're dead too. There we go. We don't want to have to replant the sugarcane every time we knock it. There's a sheep I'm having like a sheep orgy. There's sheep everywhere, but now they're all dead. So we don't want to have to replant it. So what we basically have created here, and let me see if I can get myself out of here. I might have to take out 2 more of these. Just so I can get out easily enough without having to remove any of my redstone. There we go. Okay. So basically the way this works is I have 2 rows that are connected both to the same pressure plate. When I step on this pressure plate, it sends a redstone signal throughout the map, throughout this part of the map. As you can see, the redstone signal is coming right back there from the sugarcane, and we have some redstone repeaters to make sure it goes far enough. And then it basically bounces up here, and it goes into these bottom blocks, these wood blocks, and on top of the wood blocks are pistons. They're not sticky pistons. I believe they're regular pistons, which is all we need for this design. Yep, these are regular pistons. So basically, when I step on this power plate, all the pistons get activated. They cut the sugarcane in a third and 2/3, and it remains the bottom one. The bottom one remains in there. And you know something? If I really wanted to do a better job at this, I don't think I have the supplies on me, but I should cover up this water with some slab, whether it's stone slab or wood slab, it doesn't make a difference. So let's step on this. Let's see how many we get. I'm going to put all the sugarcane away. Let me get all the sugarcane that's on me off me. There we go. And I'm going to step on the plate, and within a second it will slice it, dice it, and get it ready for me. There it goes. You can see that it just the pistons came out. It knocked off the 2 top layers, and now all I need to do is run in here, jump in the edges, run back, and I collect all my sugarcane. And in this one row, we had, it looks like 47 sugarcanes, which is not so bad. But since the pressure plate's attached to both sides, I get to go to this side, and I get to go and pick these up too, so I should basically get double. And that is a really cool design. I like this design. This design works because you don't have to replant the sugarcane every time. And ultimately, whenever you want some sugarcane, you could just come on over, hit it, let it go, and it cuts it for you. And this was the first design that I made, and we don't really use it too much because I have a better design right now. Let's see here. My lunch is here, so give me 10 seconds. Alright, now I'm back. So that was the first idea, and you got to remember, it doesn't require a sticky piston, so you don't need any slime, which is a good thing. And more important than any of that, you don't have to replant the sugarcane every time. Now let's go to my second machine. This is my second machine right over here. This machine is something I played around with when I realized that water could totally wipe away the sugarcane. So what I do over here is I come over to this lever, I click the lever, it increases the water flow. It dries up the water flow, and when it dries up the water flow, all really the sugarcane in the area just breaks with one hit. Nice and simple. If there's no water there, any hit will break most of the sugarcane in the area, and we like that because it just comes off really easily, works out really well. Now the problem with this method, I'll show you in a second, is that you have to replant. Now, it's not breaking all the way down from here because I have some water over here. But let me just pick all this up like this so I don't waste my sugarcane. I will then restart the water flow with my switch. You can see that I have some pistons in there. They go down, the water comes back out. But the real problem with this, and we don't use this too often, is that I now, unfortunately, have to replant my sugarcane. It's always important to replant your sugarcane if you're going to use this method. So I'm just going to quickly replant my sugarcane so it's set up for the next tutorial. Give me a second. And then I will show you what I consider to be the most advanced sugarcane farm I've made. And then I'm going to teach you how to build it in a second video. And I think I'm actually going to improve it because we use a two-way switch in it, and I'll show you what that means in a second. But let's just get this all replanted. Now that it's all replanted, basically it's replanted, and basically what will happen is that over the next day or two in the game, maybe a little bit less, the sugarcane will grow, and then if I cut off the water supply, it falls back out. Now, this is a wheat farm. It's a rather sophisticated wheat farm that I'm going to make a lot more sophisticated with the help of everybody out there on the web very soon. So I will definitely show people what that means and show them how that works. I'm going to start walking over to my favorite sugarcane farm, and I'm going to mute it for a second as I walk. Give me 1 second. And we're back. Alright, I just had to help somebody out. Alright, so now I'm bouncing around, and look how many sugar canes we got already. I mean, we got a decent amount of sugar cane, and we could turn this into paper or whatever we want. But that's not my favorite sugarcane farm. My favorite sugarcane farm is right in front of us, and it's not going to be totally grown because I've used it recently. And I've actually recently done a severe upgrade to my sugarcane farm. Watch out, it's a pig! Get it! Get the pig! There we go. Got a lot of meat from that pig. Also got myself some points. So this is my favorite sugarcane farm out of all of them. And the reason why it's my favorite sugarcane farm out of all of them is two reasons. Number one, it's underground, or at least subterranean, so it doesn't stick up. If you remember, if you could see where my crosshairs are back here, they were large, very large structures that had to be, above ground. Sugarcane really should be facing up. Obviously, you could see that it doesn't have to be directly under the sun because we have some netherrack there, but it really needs to be outdoors. I haven't had any luck growing sugarcane indoors. But here is what is so unique, absolutely unique about this sugarcane farm. It's that the bottom layer, I'm going to take this out for a second. The bottom layer is down here by the water, so the bottom layer actually never gets pulled up. You never have to replant the sugarcane farm. But what's unique is what's behind this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take out a piece of dirt, and I'll teach you guys how to build this. It's not so hard. The wiring's challenging, but then again, we can teach you how to do it. So I'm going to take out most of this dirt. And what you'll see when I take out most of the dirt is there's a fairly sophisticated electronic system back here. We have our sticky piston with some stone. Now, you don't have to use the sticky piston, but I think it looks better because I like the way the stone looks. And then back here, we have all the redstone that makes it work. And all back here, and you can't see it, but we might uncover it later, I have a two-way switch. It's an opposing switch, so as long as the switches are in a different direction, it's on or off. Let me just grab a carrot and I'll show you the unique part of this. And then in a little bit, not in this video, but in the video that I linked to it, I'll teach you how to build it. So here it is. You ready? This is my favorite part about this. Actually, let me cover this back up. I don't want to leave this uncovered. God forbid a creeper comes and explodes it. I will be one very unhappy person. So let me just quickly, there we go. So here we go. You ready? Easy as pie. All you do to farm an unlimited amount of sugarcane is, you can make this as long as you want. You walk in here. You can see I even have a little stair. And I simply flip this switch. It automatically covers up the bottom of the sugarcane, and you might have to go back and forth a little bit because it's a little wide, or you could take 2 trips or whatever, but it covers up the bottom of the sugarcane with the stone, which means it's not going to fall in the water. The bottom sugarcane is not going to be affected by anything, and ultimately you run right through. You pick up as much sugarcane as you want. Sometimes you pop out, sometimes you got to go side to side, but here's the best part. You don't, because I use a two-way switch, you don't have to go back to the other side. You simply flip this switch and it opens it back up. Now, when you open it back up, it's important to realize that this is just going to start growing again. So I came in here, I got all my sugarcane, I flipped the switches both ways, and now I'm off. I might try to upgrade this in the future with some water so I don't have to walk. Water could probably help me collect the sugarcane. But frankly, I take this tour so often enough that I don't really care. I like that. I like that sugarcane farm a lot. And I'm going to show you the type of switch that is used, the two-way positional switch. But for me to show you the two-way positional switch, I have to go to Meeper command to my switch workshop, so I could show you my electrical engineering workshop and some of the switches that are there, and we could see how it works, because it's not difficult, but it's certainly not easy. It is not intuitive unless you're either sophisticated with electrical engineering. These are the types of switches that are used in homes when you have a switch on the top and the bottom of the stairs, where as long as the switches are facing the same way, you get one output, and if they're different, you get another output. So here we are in Meeper command, and I'll make this quick because eventually I want to show you how to build it, but we're going to go down to the Enchanted Workshop and Mines. Let's go down. Here we are. And this is my Meeperachi Engineering Laboratory. And I've been doing some new work in here, so frankly it's not totally done yet. I've been playing with some switches. And the switch in question that we want to talk about and use is this one right back here. And I'll show you how it works in a second. We're all familiar with the standard switch. You see that red light? When I flip the switch, the light goes off, and it goes off as long as that switch is flipped. It uses redstone, it works really well, but when I flip that switch again, the light goes back on. The button press goes, just about a second. I press the button, and you can see the redstone switching. So that is another way of doing it. But that's not helpful for what I want to do here either, although there's an advanced method for me to do that. But here we have the pressure plate. Hey, get out of the way. Here we have a pressure plate, and when I step on the pressure plate, it stays lit for as long as I'm on the pressure plate, and then when I stand off, it stops powering it. But this is what really controls that Sugarcane Farm, and it could also be used to control things like doors fairly well if you wanted to switch at the inside and the outside. So the way this double positional switch works is that as long as the switches are in the same direction, the power is off. And by power off, this is kind of reversed. You can see the light being on, so don't be fooled. But as soon as I switch one of these switches, you could see it go off. And if I switch both of these back into the same direction, you could see it go back on. So this is a great dual directional switch, where as long as the switches are in both the same outputs, they're both up or both down, it doesn't make a difference. See how that light is on right now with them both up? If I turn them both down, they'll both go down. So as long as the switches are in the same direction, you get the standard output. But if you change either switch, it interrupts the circuit, which is great for what we just tried. So here's how to build this really quick. Let me just show you. You don't need wood, but you do need an opaque block. Do not use a transparent block. And basically the way that this works is, as you could see and tell, both of these switches are on the on position. You can see the redstone going out of it. So we have redstone going out of it. Then we have this block right here with a redstone torch on the back of it that is off because it's getting power from both sides. And then we also have a second layer here, and this is really important here because this little redstone torch is really, it needs to be able to hit that, and it's okay that there's a space. Then we have more redstone torches on the back, and then ultimately they all feed into whatever it is you want to power or unpower. So here is how it looks from the back. And from the front, by turning off one switch, you interrupt the circuit, and there's our redstone light off again. And this is the exact switch system I used in the Sugarcane Farm I just showed you. Now the important thing to remember is this switch and this switch do not need to be near each other. They just need to be connected by redstone. So I could take just one of these switches, put it across the room, and as long as I extend the redstone to it, and I might need a redstone repeater or some sort of reverser, but I like redstone repeaters, I don't mind using them. So as long as I have that, I can put these two switches in any position, as long as they meet up to a centralized block with a redstone torch, two more corner blocks with redstone torches. This might sound confusing, but just look at what's going on here. And this is the exact switch that I used to control my absolute favorite Sugarcane Farm. Now, we're going to rebuild that farm from scratch in an updated video. It's going to take about an hour and a half to rebuild at whole. And when I do, I will link to it at the base of this video. This is Meeperachi. This is Meepers Minecraft. And I hope you learned a little bit about Sugarcane Farms. Hope everyone has a good day. Don't forget to subscribe.